With Cherries having notched up 4 points in 2 games, attention now turns to Saturday, where we've got another chance to get... Oh God, mate, do you know who we're playing?
Man City.
Manchester City. Can we get 3 points?
Yeah.
Welcome to this Back of the Net preview. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
Now, before we begin, this show is sponsored by Rhino Construction Group. They've supported us with the purchase of equipment that is used on Back of the Net, and they have the added bonus of being AFC Bournemouth supporters too. A UK-based construction firm, Rhino work with businesses to deliver high-quality, expedited construction services, delivering fast-track builds which can be managed from start to finish by their expert team on the ground, working in live environments. From the design, analysis and space planning through to turning the concepts into reality in sectors including commercial, healthcare, hospitality and retail, check out rhinoconstructiongroup.co.uk for more information. The link is in the description below. Thank you for your support, Rhino, and they've been so good to us, and literally without their help we wouldn't be able to record our shows, would we? Literally.
They literally, no one would be seeing us right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, really appreciate it, thank you. So if you check that out, that'd be much appreciated on our behalf.
And you know, there's another reason why I love Rhino, mate.
Go on.
Masked Singer.
Oh yeah, good shout. Rhino. Yeah.
Who was
Rhino?
Charlie from Busted.
Oh yeah,
Everyone knew that, including you. Right, here's what's coming up. We take a previous look at meetings gone by with Manchester City. Let's face it, the record is not good. We've run them close though, but we have a look at our terrible record against the Citizens and we ponder whether they are still favourites for the title. Are they? We ponder it.
So how do we stop Manchester City? After they clocked up their second draw in 2 games the other night, we look at how we think the Cherries might be able to upset the odds at Dean Court on Saturday.
It's not going to happen, Tom, I swear it. We also want to hear what people think about Bournemouth. So what we do is we scour YouTube, gauging some opinions and thoughts as we look forward to this match under the floodlights against the Championship contenders.
Plus, after we get the latest team news, I'll be doing my best to look inside the head of Gary Neal. I'll try to predict his and Man City's team. It might not be easy, but this one, I think I'll get it bang on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
They played in a week, mate. How are you going to do that? All that is coming up. So, should we relive the last time we played them? We don't want to, but we will.
Like a tour.
Close we are to the home fans, mate. They're literally just over there. They're going to be giving it some, mate. But then so are we, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. When we go 1-0 up, mate. You have to take the bucket out, I think. The ball, mate. This could be a long, long day.
Wow from Kevin De Bruyne, man. That was just ridiculous. Silly mistakes like that happen and then they're on the attack, and they've got the technical quality here to punish us from this point in. Coming in from the other side now, Kevin De Bruyne slots it through, Phil Foden into the back of the net, and this is where little moments of quality absolutely count. I called it. As soon as we lost that ball, it was almost inevitable. Oh, it was a hot day. It was basking hot at the Etihad, and it was a 4-0 loss. The weather down here on Saturday night is going to be slightly cooler, 5 degrees. Safe trip if you're a City fan coming down. It's going to be about 5 hours in the car. We do Manchester in 4 these days, mate. We're used to doing it. And also on the train as well, there are direct trains or a couple of stops. Either way, it is 5 hours. No rain. But as I said, a bit cooler. Might want to put on your big coat, but you Northerners, you just come in a t-shirt, don't you? You're just mega hard. So yeah, enjoy the trip down. Away pubs, you can go to the Cricketers, also the Bell in Folkestone. If you're going to the Bell, a few doors down, pop into In Off the Far Post as well. Loads of sports memorabilia that I'm sure you'll be absolutely loving. So then, let's rewind then, start the season. We got our win against Aston Villa, and then we saw these really difficult games after that, one of which was Manchester City. It was a loss. It was a hot day. There wasn't a pub to go to before the game, but it was a good atmosphere. City were in sparkling form, but we did stop Haaland.
We did. There was a
wins.
There was a spell at the start of the season where we were the only team for quite a while to stop Haaland, and it was actually our midfielder Jefferson Lerma who dropped into defence that day. That was back with Parker Ball, wasn't it? We went flat back 5. I think did Stacey play on the left as well? It was it was a weird one, but it's just show the level of Man City. Come out 4-0 and went, that'll do. But obviously that was the start of the season. You don't know where you're going to be at. Obviously this time round we know how desperate points are in any fixture, and they are probably not quite in a place where they would like to be, considering the vast talent they have and quality they have. So yeah, who knows? But I think they are the only Premier League team, aren't they, that we haven't got a point off ever.
Yeah, you're right. Now, when you say they're not where they want to be, let's take a look at the Premier League table, and they are trailing Arsenal by 2 points, who also have a game in hand as well. They played each other recently. Man City won that 3-1. Haaland, he got on the score sheet against them. Haaland, the way he started the season was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm sure that he'll be finishing the season in style as well. The amount of goals he scored, he's a focal point for Man City, whereas previously they never really had that. But has he improved Man City, do you think, Tom?
I don't think you can say that yet. He's done his job. He's scoring goals, but what I will say is they won the league without Haaland, so the only way he's going to improve them if they go and get that European crown, because they won the league without him anyway. They scored this amount of goals, if not more, without him. It was just spread out across the team more. Yeah. But he is doing his job. But there is maybe a case and an argument to have that maybe one of them needs to adapt more. So either the team needs to adapt to him, or he needs to adapt to the team. Because I look at him sometimes and think, as brilliant as he is, he doesn't suit their build-up play. He wants to get in behind with all that space, and he lacks so many touches. I mean, I remember against us, he barely had any touches because. And it's not City's fault. Teams have such low blocks against Man City, don't they? And don't give him that space in behind. But listen, he'll continue scoring goals, and I'm sure he'll fire them to some sort of cups this season. But whether it'll be the title or not remains to be seen. Well, we got a part to play in that. We got them both back to back. Arsenal after City, haven't we?
Do you think who's favourites in your eyes at the moment?
Oh, I think that's really hard because it swung, didn't it, when City beat Arsenal, and then it kind of felt like it swung back. Arsenal are obviously in the better position. I think because City have been there and done that, I will edge towards City. I still think City will have a little bit too much. I think both teams will drop points. And it will just be, I don't know. I think Arsenal being in the Europa where they can kind of change their team, whereas City can't really, might falter them. But I'm just going to edge for City, but it's very, very close. What do you think?
I want Arsenal to win, nothing against City fans, but I just want someone else to win the league because ideally Liverpool will come strong next season and other sides as well, and we can have a more competitive Premier League. I found it a bit hard to watch over the last few seasons where it's been pretty much a 2-horse race, so it's nice to have another contender, and I think, for Mikel Arteta, that would be nice for him as well, and to have a third side, and maybe even a fourth side if Man United getting better as well, Liverpool coming up there to make a fifth, we might actually have a top 6 or a big 6 that are all challenging. Well, I say that, Spurs probably won't. But apart from that, I don't know. I think Arsenal probably have got the edge as well. It was a shame, obviously, that they lost against Manchester City at home. Manchester City did play really well against them, but Arsenal, it just didn't go for them, and on another day I think they could have snuck it.
That was the game where I just think, have City got that edge, because I didn't think there was much in the match. I actually think Arsenal were the better side in the first half, but it was that clinicality in both boxes, and Man City have got that more than Arsenal. Arsenal are still developing. They're ahead of schedule, aren't they, really? It will be funny and ironic if, Jesus and Zinchenko go and win the league by leaving City. I do think a part of it was, I do wonder if Guardiola thought, well, actually, it's not that bad giving Jesus and Zinchenko to Arsenal, because they're not actually direct competitors, not expected Arsenal to be, as strong as they have been. You've got to remember Jesus still to come back. He's been out for a while. So, yeah, I think it'll go right to the wire, mate, but at this moment, I'm just edging City. But like I say, we're playing them both back-to-back, so I might have a bit of a different thought process after that.
Pep and co are certainly managing to keep the football separate to the stuff that's going on off the pitch, with the threat of FFP and all the kind of stuff that you were talking about it, and many others were on the overlap. Of course, Stephen from Esteemed Company was
trying his best to defend him.
He was fighting off all sides. Fair play to him for that. But you sort of wonder whether that has an effect as well. But then you look at the way they've been outplaying teams recently, and you think, football-wise, they are bang on the money. However, the form that they've had recently is not so good. And these are a couple of reasons where we might be able to suggest that Bournemouth could stop Manchester City. Because look, we're not going to go balls out the bath and say we're going to beat them, but we could stop them. And there are reasons for Bournemouth fans to be optimistic. Firstly, let's take a look at the form table. Newsflash, Manchester City are not top 6, top 7. In the last 5 games, they're actually 8th. Albeit Bournemouth are 18th. You've got to say that Man City's form has been a little bit patchy. Their recent away form, if you can take the last 4 games, well, Man City are in 11th. Now, put it into perspective that Newcastle are in 7th, and we got a point from Newcastle. At home, in the form table, Wolves are in 7th place and Bournemouth are in 11th place. We beat Wolves. Form table's nothing to look at, mate.
I'm liking it, yeah, I'm liking this. Easy.
Come on!
Yeah, easy, yeah.
We're going to get something, Tom.
Yeah, you know what, this is a weird one, because it doesn't feel... the Wolves one, I credit to you. You really backed us, and I couldn't see it. And obviously we did win the game. And this game, it feels so unlikely that I'm not as nervous about the game at all, but it's filling me with this little bit of optimism, like, surely somewhere we're going to get something off them, and surely this is quite a good time to play them, and they just play midweek, which never helps. I know they've got a good squad, got a few little illnesses and injuries, so who knows. And I think that no fear might help us a little bit, because I think we've done that in both Newcastle games, where we've not expected to get anything, and we haven't lost to them either time in the league. So yeah, who knows, mate? It is a good time to play them. We did say that before Liverpool when we lost 9-0. So we've still got to be... we've got to be bang on it, and they've got to have another off day, and things have got to go away, and all them stuff. But it can happen. We've seen that recently. They've dropped points to Forest. They've dropped points to Everton. I think they dropped points to Villa. So come on, it's not a foregone conclusion if we're right on it.
You've noticed that in games, it seems to be almost like a tale of two halves, in that the first half they have high amounts of possession. Even in the Champions League against Leipzig on Wednesday, in the first half, their possession stats were just unreal, weren't they? But then seemed to drop off in the second half.
I think it was 50-50 in the second half. First half, they were in the 70s for possession, and I watched the game, and I remember messaging you and in our group chat and stuff at half time, being like, I might take a crossword. We ain't going to get the ball off this lot. Leipzig are no mugs, and you couldn't get a ball off them. But it was only 1-0, and it almost felt like, from Leipzig's point of view, they were happy with that, and they were a different team second half, and they just went for City. City looked a little bit surprised, and actually Leipzig could have even won the game second half. They had a few chances. So
what about the Forest game?
Exactly. In the Forest game, I think it went from about 15% to nearly 40% possession-wise for Forest in both halves. And don't get me wrong, City still had chances and should have won that game comfortably. But again, same thing, 1-0 down. They got back in, they had a bit of a go second half, Forest, and nicked the goal. And I think at the moment what City are doing, they used to have so much control and not concede. I don't think they've kept a clean sheet in 5 games. Wow. And I think that's showing that if you keep it at 1, and you're good defensively, which we were at Wolves, and you're solid and you keep it tight, then if you pick your moments, you can get a goal out of these lot at the moment. So yeah, they've been 1-1 draws really where they've slipped up. So that would probably be. I think a lot of teams now are going keep it at 1-0 and then have that go. And Forest did it perfectly. And you've got hope, like Forest did, that they just missed some chances, which obviously they have been at the moment.
So is it fair to say that unless you're a better footballing side than Man City, which not many teams are, the only real way you can do it is by being a counter-attacking side and just try to soak it and then hit them on the break if you can?
Well, I'd say so because I'd say Leipzig, Forest, Tottenham all recently. Tottenham actually beat them. And none of them went toe-to-toe with City. They all played counter-attack and got something out of the game. Arsenal had a go at City and lost the game.
Yeah, now, interestingly, I was looking at the average position of the starting lineups for Manchester City in their last 4 games. And with the exclusion of Arsenal, Man City were the dominant force in all of the games. Against Spurs, they had 6 players with an average position in the opponent's half. Against Villa, it was 7. Against Forest, it was 8. Their average position being in the opposition half. Against Arsenal, it wasn't like that. So it's going to be a game where we counter-attack, but also they're quite susceptible from goals out wide as well, which you would probably have to say is one of our strengths.
Probably at the moment with the new additions. Weirdly, don't get me wrong, they're probably going to have too much quality, but weirdly it's a game that suits us in the sense that at the moment we seem to be developing a team with the new signings that is play quite deep, counter-attack with pace. And that's probably what's hurt them a little bit, as you say, in wide areas, getting balls across. I think that's how Chris Wood scored, wasn't it? And obviously because they're full-backs / wing-backs / inverted wing-backs, they like to get forward and it gives you a bit of space if you've got some pace. So we're probably best suited to playing City as we've ever been, really. Because with Eddie Howe and before, we were always quite a team that likes to play football and likes to be a bit more expansive. Whereas now we are very much counter-attack. So yeah, there's things in there that think we've got a shot. We've got a shot to maybe hurt them in areas. And defensively, we've been a little bit more solid lately. I would still think, are they really going to have another couple of games where they miss big moments? And I'm not sure. But who knows? They're missing chances lately. So if they miss a few chances and we're clinical, then you never know.
Let's take a look at their results then recently in January, and it was a pretty decent month, apart from the derby, of course, which they lost to Man United, but also the Carabao Cup exit to Southampton. What was that all about, losing that 2-0? And then in February, as you can see, losing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That was another twist in the title race, but it got back on track with a couple of 3-1s, but there you can see the 2 recent 1-1 draws as well. So yeah, you know what? Their form hasn't been great, and it's weird when you look at some of the games when they've played away. They've drawn and dropped points at some. Okay, so they lost 1-0 at Liverpool. That you can understand. 2-1 against United at United. 1-0 at Spurs. But then dropping points 1-0 with Villa, Nottingham Forest, drawing at Newcastle United, and then at home they've won 10 out of their 12. But the ones that they haven't won against Brentford and Everton. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? Like, they're not quite the same as last season, are they?
No, they're not quite functioning the same. I mean, listen, the bar and the expectations are so bloody high that they literally could win 5 out of 6 and everyone go, oh, what happened in that other one though? And that's just the way it is for them. But listen, we haven't got as much quality as, say, Tottenham, but I think it's been a few years now where they've really struggled against Tottenham. Tottenham always beat them. Yeah. And Tottenham literally defend for their lives and break and just break on them. Son's always had good games against them. And as much as we haven't got a Son and we're probably not quite as, as strong in all areas, that is what I think we'll do. We'll try and be hard to beat and we will counter on them. So you're looking at all them things. There are some things to hang on to, I think, as a Bournemouth fan compared to other games and in the past. And we always seem, every time we've been in the Premier League, we have grabbed a few surprises. We haven't done one really yet. Yeah. I know the draws against Newcastle, but then established big boys, we've struggled. So we're due one. We are due one, and who knows?
We are due one. And when we say we're due one, I mean, check out our head-to-head record. You can see it on screen now. It's not great. So much so, there is not a single W at any point ever against Manchester City. Can you remember the last time we played them at home, mate? At home.
At home. No, COVID was away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it would have been at home. What was it? I mean, I'm guessing we got... Was it 4-0, 3-0, something like that?
It was 3-1. Harry Wilson free kick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, what a goal that was.
What a goal that was. Yeah, so the last time, that was in August 2019. That did end up to be the COVID hit season. It was Aguero who put City in the lead, Raheem Sterling scoring on 43, but then we did pull one back just before half-time with that unbelievable free kick from Harry Wilson, but then Aguero scored his second and Man City's third midway through the second half to secure a 3-1 win. And we've had some relatively close affairs. I'll always remember that last-minute Sterling goal in the dying embers of the game, where Charlie Daniels obviously scored that worldie. That was probably the closest we've come, isn't it?
Yeah, or the COVID season when we were away from home. Played really well in that game. Could have had a penalty.
And we got loads of shots.
We had like 14 shots. I had a look. I mean, I looked out of interest of possession actually. In our last 2 home games against City, we've had 26% and 18% possession, so it's not ideal. But what I've just noticed there actually, Harry Wilson, worldie. Charlie Daniels, we score worldies at home to City, so we're due another one.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we're going to score a worldie, I think. But who scored the last 2 from Aguero? Not there anymore. 1 from Sterling? Not there anymore.
Do you enjoy these games?
No,
I don't either.
I hate them.
I'm not looking forward to the weekend. I'm really not. Most times I am, but I'm just not.
There's a little part of me, as I've probably alluded to in this show, that it's given me a little bit to hang on to, because normally I'll go into these games and think they're just going to keep the ball and it's going to be so dull for an opposition fan because you just can't get the ball and it's really hard. But because we've got a counter-attacking threat now, I think, okay, they're going to have all the ball. Most teams get 60 to 70% possession against us anyway. But in transitions, if we're quick and lively on the break, which we showed against Wolves, there'll be something to get us off our seats now. So that's keeping me hanging on, I guess. But yeah, having City, Arsenal back to back is not ideal. But who knows, mate? It could. If you go and get something, suddenly you'll never forget that game. So who knows? But I'm a bit more positive after we just won the last game. So
for any Man City fans that are watching, you might be aware that the AFC Bournemouth head coach Gary O'Neill's been under a bit of pressure. And not so long ago, before the Newcastle games, there were all sorts of memes that were being put out saying Gary O'Neill out. There were clown memes. There was all sorts of things which, we didn't really condone. And then, we get a point against Newcastle, we get 3 points against Wolves, and then they go quiet, which is nice because, it's good to have some unity again within the fan base. However, are we expected to get anything from these next 3 games? No.
No, not expected to. I mean, people keep saying 3. I actually say 4. I think Villa away is very, very hard. Obviously, if you lose the 3 that you expect to, City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, then it puts more pressure on the Villa away as well. So I actually look at 4. I think Fulham at home is our next. But we're not expected to. But what
I'm saying is, I reckon those memes, even though we're expecting nothing, I think those memes are going to come out after the 3rd game if we get 0.
I think a lot of it will be how we approach the games. I think we've just spoke about how it's probably quite a good time to play City. I think Arsenal away we'll see going into that game. And Liverpool home, whatever they do from now till then, they're not the same Liverpool, and we're at home. I think if we go in all them games and don't lay a glove and just sit there to get beaten, I think it will be very frustrating. I think, against City, the 2 home games, City and Liverpool, if we have a bit of a go and we have chances and they're just a little bit better than us and a bit more clinical, then I think people will be a little bit like, well, we went for them and we. Because what's the point? If we sit back all game in these 3, we're going to lose them all.
I want to see us go for it.
We're going to lose them all anyway. Yeah. So let's have a bit of a go. And I think it's a good time to play City, and Liverpool coming up are not in a great place. So I think it'll be the manner of the defeats if they are defeats. But as you say, I don't think there should be too much pressure. If I'm Gary O'Neill, I think I only really need to get a couple of points, maybe even a point out of these 3, and people will be quite happy. Yeah. I mean, no pressure in these 3 anyway.
So most Bournemouth fans consider it a free hit. How do City fans look at this fixture? We scoured YouTube to find out what they had to say.
Things have changed. It's amazing what our victory does, doesn't it? After that Wolves win and City's draw at Forest, they've become more bullish, the fans. I'm sure the manager will be a bit less bullish, but they're certainly thinking about getting at least a point from this one. So hey, it's amazing how things change, isn't it? And a gritty, dogged display as it was against Wolves, a good high press by them as well, and just give them that sort of belief. And not just that, the fact that we did draw with Forest, and all right, without watching the game and seeing all the chances he created, perhaps you could think that was a good result, but more or less City's own fault, I think, that we drew that one, as you know. They've got some pace in attack, can cause us problems on the break, as he did at Wolves. So I'm going to have to be careful. Their current top scorers and assists: Solanke's 4 goals, 4 assists; Billing 4 goals, 1 assist; Anthony 4 goals, no assists; and Moore 4 goals, no assists. So lots of confidence. As I say, looking at the fan cams and with the Bournemouth fans, we need to destroy them. Simple as that. We need to destroy them. And when I say destroy, I mean at least beat them by 2 clear goals. That's my idea of destroying at the moment, not 6 or 7 as it used to be. So, but we need to knock that smile off the faces. So that will depend on us, won't it? That won't depend on Bournemouth. Bournemouth will play as they play. That'll depend on how we've recovered from the trip back to Germany after what in the end was a sort of jobbish done, but a little bit disappointing the way it panned out.
Listen, if I was in your boots, genuinely, and I said this on the stream the other night, I'd be saying any team in the Premier League right now should not be afraid of Manchester City. Like you shouldn't be looking at us as the city of old and this juggernaut that's going to come down and run riot down in the seaside of Bournemouth on the weekend, because unfortunately we're not quite that right now. I think we will get back to that next season and when the transition is fully finished, or a few more refreshments, like I said. But currently, based off form this season and teams that have taken points off us, Bournemouth have every chance of nicking a point off us and or maybe nicking a win. Who knows? Depends. Like if you get a goal early and the crowd get behind the team and all of a sudden we crumble a little bit like we have done, it could be a long day for us. So that's why City fans and myself have been saying we need to approach this game like it's a Champions League final, because everybody will feel like they can get something off City.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Great to see and hear what people have got to say about this game. I think most Man City fans are expecting them to win this, which I completely understand. Make sure you check out all of the links below to see the various channels. Right, in terms of AFC Bournemouth team news, you can see it going across the bottom of your screen, round about now. There it is. And Gary Neal had his presser Dean Court. We know that Marcus Tavernier and Jordan Zamora, of course, they went off injured. And Jefferson Lerma, he was unwell before the game. It was good to know that wasn't an injury. It was just a case of illness, either some kind of cold or bug or virus. So he should be back in contention, which is good because I thought he was great.
Yeah, I would have thought all 3 of them will be fine. I don't think anything was that major. As you say, Tavernier's had some knocks lately, so he was just a bit rusty, but obviously got the winner. And Zamora just took a few kicks, didn't he? But it's nice that we've got the options now on the bench to not have to risk anything. It wouldn't have been long ago where Zamora wouldn't have been able to be taken off really, but now we've got Vigna in there. And yeah, Lerma, I mean, it was actually quite impressive. I thought he was good first half, but he obviously was feeling under the weather, and they thought, let's chuck Rothwell on who played well. It's just, it's kind of them ones we already know about, isn't it? Lloyd Kelly out, Lewis Cook out. Zabani looks like he's out till April now. Yeah. We haven't seen him yet, which is a shame. But we're looking good at the back at the moment, mate, so he probably wouldn't get in anyway.
Yeah, and it's good to see the strength of our bench as well. Every week it seems to get stronger, so which is really good for the long run. In terms of Manchester City team news, well, firstly, tell me how they strengthened in January, mate, because they did sign an Argentinian midfielder, didn't they?
Perone. Yeah, they got him in from just shy of 10 million, I think. So I think he's one for the future.
He's not a starter, though, by any stretch of the imagination, is he? He's just one to whack in the squad.
Yeah, whack in the squad and a future player that I'm sure it'll only be a couple of years and he'll be a well-beer probably if City have found him. Apart from that, it looks like the ones from midweek where I think it was obviously Stones is injured. I think it was De Bruyne and Laporte, wasn't it, who have got illnesses. So he as always with Pep, he keeps quite close to his chest. So it wouldn't be a massive shock if they both started. But the fact they didn't travel in the week means it's they probably are quite unwell. So if they might be without both of them. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw maybe a De Bruyne on the bench just in case. But it's not a bad thing if they're without De Bruyne.
All right, so let's not. If you're going to talk about a man to watch, we won't go Haaland, we won't go De Bruyne. I mean, you can pick any of them. Is there an under the radar Man City player that you think we should watch out for him?
Oh, Nathan, okay. What a player. They're seeing it now.
We told you what a player. He's developed into almost a first choice for Pep.
He has, and probably one of the reasons why Cancelo left as well, because he's been playing left back a bit, he's played centre back, but even when he's centre back, he naturally starts to that left, which we used to see anyway.
This is the first time he's returned to Dean Court, right?
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it?
He's going to get certainly a little bit better than say Ryan Fraser did last time.
He'll get a bit of a hero's reception just because I'd almost make a case that in my time anyway, he's probably the best player I've seen in a Bournemouth shirt.
The best player in a Bournemouth shirt that you've ever seen?
Probably.
Wow.
I just think he was different class. And people forget quite quickly that COVID season where we were trying to stay up and obviously went down, he got injured and that killed us off in my opinion. But yeah, just different class, was never going to stay at us much longer. We managed to get him on loan and then sign him permanently. We knew he was obviously, I mean, it would have been outrageous if he had to drop to the Championship because, yeah, different class, and I'm just chuffed to see him play well for him. Hope he has an off day. But yeah, what would be impressive is how much he can bomb on as well. He's just developed, and I think this happens a lot with City players. I remember when he first went, people went, "Oh, is he good enough?" Now you're seeing it. Same happened with Grealish. He phoned a few years ago, you thought, oh, will he break through? And it just takes him a bit of time, and then once they're in Pep's system.
And also he pops up with a goal or two as well, doesn't he?
He does. He used to do that for us, didn't he?
Yeah,
he used to do that for us. Some big goals for us. He got the winner against Liverpool, didn't he? I think against Tottenham. Yeah, he's a big game player, I'd say. And it'll be interesting to see if Rico Lewis plays as well, because he's a youngster that has started to make his way into the team. And I think he actually made his Premier League debut coming on against us at the Etihad. And people thought, oh, who's this guy? And now he's showing his bits. But they've got quality all over the pitch, mate, unfortunately.
The referee for Saturday's game is Paul Tierney. It's the first time he's taken one of our games since the fateful relegation season. That season we had him 5 times. At home against Everton and Spurs, away at Brighton, Norwich and Liverpool. So, fair to say, bit of a mixed record. He's going to be back at Dean Court. Who else is going to be back at Dean Court on the pitch? Let's do the teams. So, here we go then. There's the pitch. We'll start with AFC Bournemouth and Tom. You've got a 4-3-3 lineup here. Talk me through what you're going to do, buddy.
Well, I didn't know what the rules stated on. Can you have 3 in goal? Because I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, we'll stick with kind of similar to what we've had lately. Obviously, that midfield 3 can be adaptable. But yeah, in goals, obviously, going to remain Neto, who's now the captain. Hopefully he doesn't get punished for an error. He has made a few lately. Yes, but he's also shown great leadership qualities and helped us. So yeah, happy with him in goal. Back 4, I know a lot of people have been calling for Fredericks, but I think Smithy would definitely be in, mate, at right back.
And you made a case for it on the second look. There's a reason why managers of the past have all gone for him. He's rarely on the bench, is he?
Yeah, no, rarely. And I also believe sometimes, I think this thing about his legs being gone is a little bit lazy. I think that he's just been a bit more disciplined. I think he's been told to be a little bit more.
And let's face it, against Manchester City, we will need the experience, and you know, players won't be able to bomb on as much.
No, exactly. So yeah, I'll be shocked if he's not playing. Yeah. Centre halves have been excellent lately, and it's Jack Stevens and Marcos Senesi. They've been very good. Not a lot of pace in there, so we've got to have a low block because otherwise Haaland is just going to kill us. But I think both of them will fancy a battle. And I think Senesi and Haaland could get a little bit lively as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think they'll just be tight to him and just be a bit nasty because you can't let him in behind. And Zamora at left back, who will try his best to bomb on, but I think he's going to have to be a little bit more assured. It'll be interesting how that gets on because I think if he gets caught a few times, it wouldn't shock me if you see Vina come on just to give us that defensive solidity. But Zamora's certainly got the legs for it.
Okay.
I'll stick with Lerma. I know he was unwell, but. As I say, because it wasn't a serious injury, I would assume he'll be in there. And he's got that, if we had to, he can drop back like he did against City before. And then we'll go Traore and Billin either side of Lerma. And obviously, that's been the case lately. We know that Billin can drop into a double pivot, and he's actually done it quite well lately. So I think he may be a little bit deeper than Traore, but we'll start it off like that. Wide options, we have got a few now. Obviously, Anthony was left out the last game. Yeah. And Tav come in, got the winner. And he's got a bit of defensive nous about him. So I'll keep Tavernier on the left for sure, because I think he'll help Zamora. And if someone like Carl Walker's playing on that right side who's lightning, I think we need Tav in there. I'm not sure about this, but I'm going to stick with Dongo Ouattara.
Okay.
I'm going to
stick the greatest game in the last match today.
No, I'm a little bit. Don't get me wrong. He's got 2 assists in both his own games, and he's clearly a raw talent. He's young. He's only just come into the club. I haven't been totally convinced yet. And I wouldn't be against moving Tav to that side and playing Anthony potentially, or even Semenyo, who I thought done really well.
Oh yeah, no, he did. Yeah, he did. He really did.
But I think because of the fact Ouattara's done in both his home games, got an assist, he's delivered.
Okay.
I do think he'll stick with him, but that could be one that may change. But obviously Dom Solanke will lead the line, mate.
Okay.
100%. Even though there's a temptation we were talking about the other night. of not having any of the ball. Let's just sit 10 men on the ball, just lump it to keeper and see what happens. But this could be one where there's an option.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Could he be coming on if it's 1-0 down or whatever, 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, we spoke about the last two games, and obviously they kept it at 1-0. Leipzig then scored a header from a set piece. And the Forest game, big Chris Wood scored. Yeah. So this might be one where Kiefer is chucked on if we're in the game.
You never know. Okay, so Manchester City then in their 4-2-3-1. Yeah. Just sprinkle a bit of stardust over this part of the screen. Go on then, in goal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ederson in goal.
Yeah.
I think, I'm saying 4-2-3-1. It literally just goes everywhere. I'm just putting it like that for now. Always hard to pick. If I get City bang on, I'll be absolutely shocked, mate. With Pep Roulette, as they call it. But I think Kyle Walker will stay at right back. He gives that defensive solidity as well. Can easily move into a free. He's a class act. I'm going to go Diaz. Staying there, and I'm actually going to go Ake to play at centre back. But as I say, this could easily go into a free. Well, Ake. And the left back could easily go into kind of a midfield zone, which would be Rico Lewis. Yeah. Just because he was left out in the week, I think he's going to come in for this one. It's a nice game for him, really. Yeah. And then the two a little bit deeper in midfield, Rodri and Gundogan or Gundogan, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, them two I think will be in there. Just because I think if De Bruyne's got any sort of illness, I don't think they'll risk him from the start. Kind of the one more advanced in that kind of 10 role, I think we'll go with. I'm going to go with Phil Foden. Okay. Hasn't played as much lately. I just think this might be a game where they'll chuck him back in. I'm not being funny. If you're going to try and get someone back in the form, no respect to ourselves. Yeah, it's probably a Bournemouth at home. So I think Foden might come in for this one, actually.
He's a good player.
He's a class act. So I'm going to put him in there. I'll go with Mahrez off the right. And Grealish off the left. So I'm going to go with... And they're also interchangeable anyway. But that's what I'll go with.
How many free kicks will Jack Grealish earn?
Against Adam Smith as well, potentially. Smith gives away fouls every game, so that's going to be an interesting one. That could be an interesting one there. And then up front is obviously going to be Haaland, mate. Hopefully, whatever happens, if we can stop Haaland twice, that might be a trophy for us at the end of the season, I think. Bloody hell. But yeah, this could change a lot. And they're obviously going to have Armory on the bench. I don't think people talk much about Alvarez. Didn't he get the golden boot in the World Cup? They got him sat on the bench every week. So
scenes.
Yeah, good side, class act, but I just keep looking at that team. I don't want to look at it too much more because it's just making it hard to believe. And I'm trying to believe, mate.
With this in mind, then, what are your predictions? Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear what you got to say, and also give us a reason to be optimistic. Any reason at all? Anything? Just give us something.
We try, don't we?
You City fans, if you're watching, tell us how we can best get at you. What we'll do is we'll screenshot them, pass them on to Gary O'Neill. Yeah. What do you think then for a result?
Well, you done well last week.
Yeah.
You said we win 2-0, didn't you, against Wolves? I think you went 2, but I'll take it. Do I stick with, because I said we lose at Wolves and we won, so I might stick with that and see if it works.
Okay.
Because I just can't sit. I'm going to go, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say we're going to nick a goal on the break, but I think that'll be a little bit too strong. So I'll go 3-1, Man City.
1-1.
Oh, he's lost his head.
I'll
won one football match.
One
since November.
Where we weren't actually that good.
Yeah, we weren't. But we won one football match since November. We think we're going to get so... Who knows, mate? Who knows?
Like Richard Jackson said, offensively, it was probably one of our worst football matches we played in a while. But defensively, it was one of our best. So, look, I'm hoping that we've gelled a little bit more. Man City have an off day and we have a good day. And even if that happens, we might be able to scrape a draw. So that's where we're at. But you never know. Other teams have beaten them. Brentford have. Yeah. Why can't we? It's not going to happen.
We're not
anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, afterwards, free-for-all fan cams. Man City fans, you're very welcome to come on outside on the other side of the stand from where you are, just by what's called the 1910 bar. Bournemouth fans, of course, you're always welcome on. Matchday vlog Sunday morning, second look Monday. We're so good to you. Tom, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's hope we can let's just graft away. Hope we don't get too dumbfungled and worn out.
Yeah.
And we just offer something on the break. That's all I want, and anything else is a bonus, mate. And hopefully results go away earlier in the day. There's some big games for us. I think Leeds got Southampton, so it's gonna be a tough weekend, but let's try and surprise everyone.
Let's do it. Right, up the cherries. See you on Saturday.
Up Ches.
Oh, they feel like it. Dumbfungled.
I got it in. Great word. Susie Dent, word of the day.